Okay, so we're kind of getting a live viewing now of a round 1 match on and in the Lockdown Bowl, and that is, let's hide this here. It's going to be the Slowton Wanderers and Coronapocalypse Now. But while these guys are, we're underway. So we've got Master Chef roll. Only 1 reroll been stolen, which is not bad. So hey Patrick, how you doing? Skaven? No, we're not playing Skaven today. We are, and I don't know. I'm sure I changed the stream information to say Lockdown Bowl, but maybe I didn't. Lockdown Bowl, FUMBBL. We're going to be watching some FUMBBL happening. FUMBBL with an M. Update. Oh, there we go. We're going to watch some FUMBBL going on, which will be our 2 terms here. Oh, it's nice to see. DrClaes is offering a bit of help. Hung around here for 2 years. Got a boatload of games in. There's a few competitors in this tournament that have got a serious amount of FUMBBL games in, and there's a few like me that have only played a few years ago, like quite a few years ago. So when I get a chance to play my game later on today, hopefully against our opponent, it should be seamless and like I've never stopped playing at all. So we're gonna use this interface here, so it should be casting onto the screen, so you should have a good view of the pitch and also of the chat and the dice here. So you don't get a great view of the actual dice. It's very similar to Roll20, except this automates everything for Blood Bowl. So we've got Dwarves. Let's see if we can't bounce back to the webpage quick and have a look at our 2 teams. So let's get rid of that. We'll save our teams for later. So we've got Coronapocalypse Now and the Slowton Wanderers. So let's start with the Wanderers because I think they're all set and ready to go. They're all deployed. So we've got Dwarves. This is the interesting one. So we've got Dwarves, 4 rerolls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blockers, 2 runners, 2 troll slayers, and a death roller. So no blitzers in this build. We get an extra 100k for inducements, which I'm assuming is going to be spent on a bribe. So that death roller should be around for a little while. It should be in a good position to take out some trees. Alright, we can hear some action. We can hear some action. So let's pop back to FUMBBL. How are we doing? Hey DrClaes, how you doing? But I can cheer and boo. That's exciting. What do we got? We got using commands like boo, boo. Alright, fantastic. Hopefully we've got some other people viewing as well. Let's go and see if we can't chuck a cheer. There we go. Fantastic. So as you can see, we've got Dwarves here and we've got Dwarves against Halfling. So let's bounce back and have a quick look at the Halfling build. Coronapocalypse Now. Oh, gone to the effort of doing a little flag as well, using the Apocalypse Now logo. Really like that. That's cool. So 2 Dreamen, Catcher, and a bunch of Hopefuls. 1 reroll, and that's only 600k. So this team is bringing all the inducements. So let's bring it up here. They got a riot for the kickoff. Okay. And the ball. Right in the end zone for the Halfling. So Dwarves kicking, going for that sweet 2-1 grind. Hey, Matt's BBL, this is going to go up on YouTube. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. There we go. As will my game. Should be cool. Right. Back to the match. Oh, the tree is taking out a guy straight away. That is a knockout for our player. So we should be able to click this and see we've got one. It's just a blocker. But that is a big play for the Halfling team already. We've got the guys moving back down. Might just pop the volume a little bit down there. As retro as these sound effects are. There we go. They may be a bit much. So back to the game. So where are we up to now? Okay. So we've got Morg and Thorg induced here. So not gone for the classic Deep Root. We've got Morg instead. And just a couple of Halflings in reserve. And one is out already, and one is in reserve. The Death Roller has not been deployed. I'm assuming worrying about the quick touchdown. So our player is in the tank. So we've moved the catcher back. We've got one halfling on the ball there. And it's a foul. Not getting the armor. Alright. So it's dwarfs. Turn 2. They lost a 10 because of the riot, which makes a lot of sense. Okay, so Morg is right up there with the tree. Ball's in the back. Dwarves don't necessarily have the movement that you'd be able to take advantage of a really deep kick. However, if you look at the backfield, there's only, what, 4 halflings that are really there. So if these dwarves can skirt around and form a line here and separate the team, if the halflings can't get to the trees, it's a pretty decent barrier, and it will be a very effective roadblock to stop them from scoring. Okay. So we're seeing dwarf around the top. Patrick, a little foul. I've not heard anyone. I know. It's bold going for a foul against a dwarf. The odds are not in your favour. Yeah. Certainly not what Katniss Everdeen would have done. Alright. We've just got the dwarves playing movement. Just positioning. It's a tough gig. I mean, having the death roller on early would have burnt through the bribe in the case of an early touchdown, but it also would have given the dwarves a decent strike back ability against some of the big guys. That said, we've still got 2 slayers with their dauntless ability. Right, yep. We're seeing the flank here from dwarves trying to run around these trees. Now, trees with movement 2 and take root are very slow. However, that go for it blitz means that they've got an 8 square radius of death because they're blitzing and they're 2-dicing everybody. There we go. This poor dwarf, Zayden Ayat, sacrificing himself to Mr. Tall and Mr. Big. So if we see these dwarves here flood out and bear down on these, and Blood Feast has joined the viewing. So yeah, if these dwarves flood up here, the halflings are going to have to bounce back here. I think what we're going to have to see is we're going to see our halfling coach have to try and force some movement to get the ball down here. If they get the ball here with all the big guys they've got here, they're in a pretty safe spot. If they leave the ball back here with these dwarves bearing down, it's going to make the next turn. It's going to make that ball mobility a little bit significantly harder. Let's drop that down. Oh, that's a mistake. I don't want to do that. Let's go here. Hey, Rob. We've got a knocked out dwarf. A ball right back in the end zone. And we've got some very fast dwarves doing very fast dwarf things down here on the left-hand side. Patrick says, I think it was a mistake not using the roller. It's a tough one. I mean, even with the extra bribe, if they get a 2-turn touchdown, which if the kick had gone differently, could have been a seriously likely event, to be honest. Woodrum, evening. Looking forward to playing you later when we get our stunty on. I know. I'm looking forward to that. The Snotlings are looking forward to falling victim to the mighty strength 2 skink list that you've got going on. I say mighty strength 2. You've got 4 Croxagores. 4. It's ridiculous. It's going to be great fun. I'm going to do my very best to try and run some stuff over with a pump wagon. We've got the tree absolutely maiming down here. Knocks down another dwarf. Mr. Tall doing his thing. And Mr. Big doing a very similar thing up here. No armor breaks, though. No armor breaks. So, what they have managed to do is really open up this middle section. I fear the pump. Hey, they're ball carriers. Alright, we've got to pick up. We've got to hand off to the catcher. I think we could be seeing that mobility of the catcher being used here. Movement 5, not bad, especially when you're playing against dwarves, but they do have sprint. So, if he wanted to form some kind of cage here, we've got a blitz on the Troll Slayer. Knocks him down and knocks him out. That's 2 out for the dwarf now. We've got a Slayer out and a blocker. That armor 8 proving the vulnerability of a dwarf team. Because he's just as strong as a human blitzer. A very angry human blitzer. Cool. So you can see we've got quite a lot of halflings over here. And the mobility of them to pull back and form this cage in the centre is good play, I think. Dwarves being strong and being very, very, very consistent are also very, very slow. So we get a 2-die block on that dwarf from a halfling. Push back and skull. So it's only a push. However, that does still apply an extra square between the foe and the ball carrier. We get a dodge away. It's successful. No, he goes down. His armor holds. And we're back to the dwarves now. We are back to the dwarves. So with the halflings forming this mighty strength 2 stunty cage in the middle. The troll slayer being removed this side is quite a big event, because that dauntless frenzy, well, dauntless or frenzy, you've got dauntless if you want to take on the big guy. Taking on Morg is always a tough challenge, but also having that frenzy for the second block against a stunty player, when you've got the block advantage, it kind of free rolls you. So we've got this troll slayer down here, 1 2 3 4 5. It's a lot of go for it to get blitzing into there. I do think we'll see a blitz come through here. Against this guy to get to the ball carrier. I can't imagine we're going to see a dodge. With no blitzers, they don't have the edge 3. Well, then we've got the runner. The runner doesn't have block, but it does have agility 3. So there's still a bit of mobility there. But you're dodging into 1 tackle zone. 2 tackle zones because of the snotling and the snotling. It's a prelude to our game later. To the halfling here. So it's a bad dodge. I wonder if we'll just see a blitz through to get onto the ball carrier and try and maybe mob Morg somehow. Now, as a blocker, it's only movement 4, so he gets 1 square of movement if he stands up without having to go for it. So he is kind of out of combat here. You can see him possibly tag this halfling. You could see him blitz that halfling and open up for another one. Bloodfeast says, think it's maybe a 30-second delay for your stream, Ben. Okay, well, I think that's fair enough. Okay. I think the dramatic music from Blood Bowl 2 is helping. Hey Chris, welcome to the match. We're streaming a game on FUMBBL from the Lockdown Bowl, a charity event run by Rob from Secret Carnage and North Wales Carnage Cup. Trying to raise as much money as possible for Doctors Without Borders. Okay, there we go. Oh, he fails on the go for it. So we did see the Troll Slayer Blitz come from the south, and he failed on the... He double wand the reroll for the go for it. This could be a big... Thanks, Bloodfeast. It's cool. This could be a big downplay for the dwarves and a massive boon for the halflings. It kind of leaves them in control of the pitch, because we've got one dwarf down and we've got 2 dwarves out. Is it 3? No, we get a 9 on the armor. So the dwarf holds true. And another dwarf is out, seriously injured. He is out for the rest of the game and the next game. The dwarves are getting murdered here by trees. Tiffany Basham has joined the stream. How you doing, Tiff? How's new girl downstairs? DrClaes, boom, taking out his 3rd dwarf. There we go. We get the first dodge with a halfling here up the middle. Bloodfeast says it's hard to move an MA5 player down the pitch with only 1 Morg to protect. I feel like that's what throw teammates for. Halflings dodging, escaping. The dwarves there, trying to just limit. We get a POW here against the runner, saved by the armor. Still, Halfling's blocking is a very mighty thing. Stunty blocking is great. Okay, it's the dwarf turn now. Slowton Wanderers. Here we go. Come back. So we've got a dwarf standing up here. Getting back into the fight. If it fails, the crowd love it. Absolutely. You cannot beat an underdog. That's why I'm so excited for the new Snotling team to arrive. And that's why I'm running Snotlings in this event. Just to try and get a feel for what the team could be. And also, pump wagons are awesome. So, the dwarves are in a bit of a sticky wicket. That said, the ball carrier is kind of open on the edge here. It's going to take a very brave move. A very brave blitz. The dwarves have to reroll. It could just be as easy as a 4+ dodge. 1, 2, 3... 4 and a go for it. Not even, yeah. 4+ dodge with a go for it. But we get the 2-9 block here. Both down, both down. That halfling is knocked out. So the dwarves getting a bit of the numbers back into the numbers game here. And you see, I was expecting the dwarves to absolutely farm out those casualties. But so far, they've just been held in place by the big guys. So having the opportunity to strike at those halflings is going to be big. There we go, get another block in against the halfling. He's downed, but saved by his armor. And I wonder if we will see a play on the ball carrier here. I think this guy here is just done for. He gets the dodge. That is brilliant. And he actually does not get the dodge. Oh, that is absolutely brutal. So we're back with the halflings. It's Coronapocalypse Now, turn 5. Morg goes for the block. Both down, push, push. Freeing up that space with the ball carrier. And now we're going to see, as Bloodfree says, it's now time to run. So that sweet movement 5. Getting this halfling catcher down the pitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just 2 turns to go in the open field here for that halfling to survive. That is a bold strategy, Cotton. But you might just be able to pull it off here. Okay. We've got a block. Push, push. And the halfling escapes the dodge here. I think what we might see is some kind of halfling cage form. Or at least just trying to get the numbers round here to tag these dwarves in place. There we go. A little bit of support there, tagging this dwarf. Now, dwarves, armor 9 block can do some hurting, and they are very resilient in theory. This team's having a pretty tough time with the dice right now. But they don't have the movement and they don't have the agility. And without the blitzers on this build, which I thought was quite a clever build, they basically dropped the blitzers to take the death roller. And that extra 2 players with agility 3 has hurt them so far. And it's time to see how they react to this mightiest of stunty cages. I think Connor can become trouble. Alright, let's see if we can find Connor. I think that's the guy who's been doing the blocks. Derek, Jace, Nolan, Cage, Landon, Eddie, Cash, Morg, Cameron. No idea. Check the reserves. Nicholas, Merc, Halfling, and Carlos. Okay, so it's dwarf time. We've got the Troll Slayer activating in the backfield. Nope. Yep. And again, just bringing it around to start tagging players here. Because even if he cannot catch up, he can be in a position to start making multiple dice blocks against the halflings. And that will absolutely support the attrition strategy back towards the dwarf side. I mean, 3 out, 2 knocked out, 1 badly hurt. The dwarves could be down to only 11 players if they get both knocked out guys back. And it could be a very different game with 11 dwarves on the pitch, including a death roller. And if he starts farming through those halflings, it will be a very, very different game. We get a 1 die block here. It's push. To free up possibly the running lane. It's going to have to be a dodge. Needed a POW. There's still an opportunity for one of these guys to dodge here and then back in and take the halfling ball carrier out with a 1 die block. It's a big ask, but then again, dice for dwarves and a 1 die is not a terrible odd. Okay, I'm going to see a block here, or are we going to see the dodge blitz? Okay, Connor, there he is. He gets the blitz. And where's he headed? He gets the dodge, he gets in, and it's probably going to be a 1 die on the ball carrier, Eddie, here. Here he comes, like an elf. Oh, that's Connor. POW push. Which is not enough. Interesting, we didn't go for the ball carrier here. We put this dwarf in. Does take him out, or at least stuns him. I thought we'd see a block on the ball carrier, but actually tagging him in place, it will negate the dodge away. And I wonder if we're going to see another dwarf dodge here. Excuse me. There we go. Takes a big hit on the halfling there. Stuns him again. Another stun. So 3 stunned halflings. We've got 1 knocked out. The dwarves are starting to deliver some of their tiny bearded justice. Okay, Coronapocalypse. Now, this guy does have sprint. So he's going to go straight for it. Gets the dodge on a 3+. Doesn't even need the reroll. And we got to go for it. We got to go for it. He trips. Reroll. It's a 6. He stays upright. And then we get the tree taking another hit. Doesn't down the dwarf. I think that's the first failed block from the tree. And another one. Both down pushback. Pushes back the dwarf there. So Mr. Big and Mr. Tall just taking on dwarves. Now, that is a bit of a disparity when you look at the team value wise. But I think on pitch team value greatly favours the dwarves here, so any 1-to-1 removal is going to be beneficial on the halfling side. So as it stands, they've managed to get a ball carrier in the backfield there, ready to score in a turn's notice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This dwarf can only get onto him now with a go for it, and another go for it, and a blitz, and the halfling runs interference there. It's going to make him run wide, isn't actually going to make a difference. And a little bit extra support here with Landon running in. Time to put kids to bed. Tell them not to do a touchdown. There we go. So Slowton Wanderers are in play now. And what are we going to see? Dwarf stands up. And I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think the dwarves can apply pressure to stop the halflings from grinding out, but where the dwarves are intermingled with the halflings' lines, I think they've made all of the profitable blocks. So I think this is ways in favour of the halflings right now. They could probably get away with farming this out for another turn and using the big guys to just attempt some more removal. I mean, they've had a lot of success so far with 2 knockouts and a casualty. So we could see the halfling team here wait out another 1 turn in the backfield. We're not going to see anything crazy like a... No, okay, good. I thought we were going to see a negative block. Now we might see a block here. So 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be 1 dice against Morg if anybody around here blocks. And that is a very brave move because this guy is Morgan Thorg, the Tarmogoyf of the Blood Bowl pitch. And the Slayer comes in with the Blitz. Pow, push back. There we go. Knocks Morg down. You get a chain block, getting an extra square of movement here from the Dwarf. Brilliant. Mike can't see what's being rolled for some reason. The bottom of the Java screen is cut off. So Morg is down. But the armor holds because he is an absolute beast with armor 10. I was confused for a second. I was like, how is the 10 not beating it? He's the best tree man there is. Oh, it's a huge play. It is a big old foul on Morg. And he is out. He is badly hurt. That is 430 gold pieces worth of player out for the game. There he is, badly hurt, Morg. So the referee spots the foul and bans Brentley Fern. Argue the call is a 6, and Brantley is sent to reserves. So it's Coronapocalypse, and the Halfling hides in the corner again. Gonna farm those turns. The tree takes out the dwarf, just prone, not another casualty. So Morg being out is huge for the second half, so the Halflings are now even more driven to farm those turns out, to run the clock down. It's going to be a touchdown next turn, but for the time being, I think we're going to see some fouls. We get a foul in there. Total of 5, nothing, and no referee. So gets away with it. It's Slowton Wanderers. It's the Dwarf turn 7 here. They've got Halflings deep in the backfield, poising for a touchdown next turn. And there is literally no way for them to reach them because of some outrageously good play by the big guys. However, the Dwarf coach made a very, very, very solid decision in saying, I can't catch up with the Halfling, so actually what I'll do is I'll try and win some of that attritional warfare. Now, I was thinking, 1, 2 Halflings get taken out by the Dwarves here, but no, they went straight. They went big for Morgan Thorg and took him out with a big old foul. That Troll Slayer right there, winning some points. Caden Zander gets the Frenzy Blitz in there to knock down Morg, and everybody jumps in for a foul. Okay, so it's Dwarf up, Dwarf up. And yeah, that runner is running down the ball carrier. It has to be done. It's not going to achieve anything because we're going to go into turn 8 next time round. And I wouldn't be surprised if our opponent wasn't just picking a foul or a decent sized blitz here. So it's going to be a gang blitz on Mr. Tool. So because the Troll Slayer has Dauntless, he does have a chance at getting that extra thing, but isn't going to work. So we're going to see a strength 3, 4, 5, 6, 1 die block here. Both down. Pow, he gets the pow, drops him down. Only a 5 on the armor, the tree's alright. Yeah, he actually got the Dauntless on a roll of a 6, giving him the extra dice. Hey Ben, welcome to the stream. We're streaming some FUMBBL from the Lockdown Bowl. Bloodfeast says, goes from the game for 2 minutes and more gets hurt. 2 for 2. There we go. Roll total of assists. No, not enough. Not enough to foul him. Bloodfeast says, can't leave you guys alone for a second. So I think we're going to see the Dwarf coach pass the turn here to the Halflings, and I can't imagine our Halfling coach is going to do anything at all other than just go straight in and take that 1-0 touchdown at the end of the first half. Well, I say the end. The Dwarves will have 1 turn, and we've already had a riot, I think, this game, so we could see ourselves swinging another riot. It's the Halfling turn 8. He goes for the block, which is brave. Armor holds, gets the touchdown, and both of the Dwarves come back from knockout. So we're going to see an 11-man lineup here for the Dwarves, including the Death Roller. So the Death Roller is going to have to make that turn count because it will be out. Now, we'll get an Argue the Ref call, and we will be able to use the bribe. So it is quite likely that the Death Roller will be back for the start of the second half, where our Dwarf coach will be receiving. So we could see a tasty 8-turn drive for a draw, or just see the Death Roller go crazy, take out some big guys, and give the Dwarves an opportunity to score 3-4 turns in, and then go for the upset, go for the defensive touchdown. It's going to be a tough drive in regards to the decision-making process. So it's turn 8. The Halflings have gone for the one-turn touchdown defense. They've gone deep to save as many of their players as possible. They've only got one out, and they've got one in reserve as well. So, and the one that's out is Morgan Thorg, we've got one in reserve. So the Halflings can afford one casualty here. And surely it's going to be... There we go. There's the Death Roll. I was going to say, we're going to see some frenzy blocks here. But we're going to see at least one block here from Eric Nana, our rookie Death Roller. Now, movement 4 on a Dwarf team is pretty good, so this guy's going to be able to keep up with the team during the second half. But it's strength 7. He is getting all the dice against these guys. So, where's the ball? Where's the ball going to go? Okay, it's quite a deep kick. I think that's going to be completely pointless. The Dwarf coach was undoubtedly hoping for a riot here, and it is the first block. Push pow, push back, push back. So that Halfling just gets pushed aside by the Death Roller. We're going to see the Dwarf blocker take a punch here. We get both down. He goes down. Armor roll of a 3, so the Halfling survives. We get another block in here against the Halfling. Armor 5, the armor survives. And another triple die block on the Halfling. He is knocked out. So we do see one player go down. So it will all be on the argue and the bribe here to see if we're going to see 11 on each time. The round Befs, Eric Nana for using secret weapon. And the argue the call is failed. DrClaes says, good call. I'm not sure if we have a bribe here for the Dwarves. Doesn't look like we do. So, 2 out for the Dwarf, 10 in reserve. So we're going to see a reduced Dwarf team here. Let's chuck a boo in there because we wanted to see... that bribe or something. We wanted to see the Death Roller do his thing, but actually, if that is the case, let's just say that was very well played by the Halfling coach. Look at this defense. So, not having the Death Roller is going to be an absolutely huge thing here. So we've got no blitzers, which is fine. We've still got block everywhere on the Dwarf side, but not having that big guy to big guy. They're down Morg. They're down the Death Roller. It's kind of now a starting league game between Halflings and Dwarves. And if we just take it from this point, the Dwarves should have the advantage. But they are playing 1-0 down. It is going to be a tough drive here for the Dwarves to score 2 touchdowns in a half. However, it can easily be done. All it takes is a couple of failed opportunities and some openings for the Dwarf coach to catch up. So looking at the deployment, we've got both the runners deep and we've got the Troll Slayers wide. I can see this Halfling team just being enveloped here. The Halflings being enveloped. I can imagine these Dwarves are going to want to stay away from the trees if at all possible. Okay. Dwarves are set. Halflings are set. It's going to be ball placement time. And we get a cheering fans. The Slowton Wanderers get a reroll. So the Dwarf team gets another reroll there. And it's a pretty safe kick for the Dwarves. So equidistant between the two runners. So they should be able to maintain control of that ball even if there is a failed die roll with sure hands. Even if there's a double bad die roll, the Dwarves should be in a good spot to protect the ball. Because when you're playing against Halflings or any stunty team that has the throw teammate opportunity, you can see a failed ball pickup in the backfield turn into a turnover. And I don't just mean the end of the turn because obviously the turn ends. I mean a turnover of control of the ball. Because throwing a teammate into the backfield, if you get a good scatter, you get a good throw and you get a good land, you can run in and steal that ball. And then it is just playing uphill at that point. Right, Dwarves swing it in. Again, like I said, possibly going to see them envelop those Halflings in the backfield. We're going to have a couple of free Halflings here, regardless of the outcome, and we're going to see at least a blitz at some point. I would expect to see this guy just hit this Halfling in the centre. There we go, 2 dice right now. Takes the pow, push, tackle doing its thing, takes him down, and armour holds with a 6. These Halflings' armour, they've done well. They've been doing very well at not dying. Okay. Who have we got activating? It's the Troll Slayer at the top of the pitch. Just running in to tag those Halflings. Now, the Troll Slayers not having tackle kind of limits their usefulness on the top side. But as a blitzer with Frenzy, push and Frenzy and push again. So, doesn't get an opportunity to take the Halfling out, but just pens them in. Now, while Halflings are stunty, they can escape anywhere on a 3+. It does force those rolls, and these two guys do have tackle. So if these Halflings want to get out of trouble, they're going to have to go through some natural die rolling. We get a pickup with the runner in the backfield. DrClaes trolling the Dwarves here, calling them elves for their ability. There we go. And we are seeing a strong push on the left hand side as fast as little dwarf legs can take them. And just what to do with these two dwarf blockers on the edge. Is it going to be 4+ dodges away? I don't think we've seen the reroll used this turn, so it's kind of 4+, avoid the troll, avoid the tree, or just stand there and take it and hope that your block carries the defense. 2 dicing against block is risky. We've all rolled it. What is it? It's a 1 in 9 chance of failure. But anybody who's trying to pick up the ball with a human thrower will know that 1 in 9 is certainly not a certain thing. We open up with a block here on the dwarf from Mr. Tool. Dwarf goes down, but his armor is good to go. We get another big block here against the dwarf. He goes down and he is killed. He is out of this competition. That is another huge play here. So you can see on the right hand side of the screen, we've got a seriously injured, killed and banned. That is 3 out for the dwarves. These trees are doing their work. They're doing some serious work here. Okay, Halfling running up the center to tag the ball carrier. Now these guys are runners. They don't have tackle. So when you're 2 dying against dodge, when you don't have tackle, they're not good odds. You're looking at 1 in 6 for each dice. Okay. We've got the Halfling 2-die block there, taking a dwarf down to the ground. His armor holds, but still, everyone has to love a stunty, bold block. We've got 2 go for it. It's a success. It's a success. And that is a second Halfling tagging the ball carrier up here, and a third one taking the blitz. It's a both down. The ball is out, the dwarf is down, and the Halfling is KO'd. So, our opponent has traded a Halfling knockout for a strip ball. The ball is loose. The Dwarves have priority now. It's their turn. It's their turn too. But both the runners are in halfling tackle zones. And so is the ball. So, opportunities. Let's have a look. This guy could blitz him, 2 dice, and then onto the ball afterwards. But at that point, you got a casualty. So both down. The casualty is taken. -1 armor on the halfling. More blocks here against the halflings. 2 dice, double pow, goes down, saved by his armor. So 3 out on each side. There we go. Gets the punch. Power pushback, gets the natural hit, follows up. Breaks the armor, gets a stun, and picks up the ball. There we go. That was a great recovery there from the Dwarf coach. Great recovery. And now he gets a free 2-die block on the other halfling that was running interference. And dodge saves him. He's not down. He's just pushed aside. So that's not going to be enough to hold off the Dwarves. And here we go. We get some free blocks up here. Power push. He's down. Armor holds though. I have never seen Armor 6 do such a good job. I'll admit though, there is a couple of halflings who've been knocked out the game. But if Armor 6 is as good as Armor 9, it's a very different game. Okay, turn 2 for the halflings. This guy's only prone, so he gets an opportunity. This guy's got dodge. So this guy could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get in there. He could dodge through and take the 1-die block. We could even get some support from this halfling up here, although he is in a tackle zone. So you don't get the free roll. Here we go. He gets the dodge away. All the way around to get that support on. The ball carrier is tagged again. We got to dodge away, and it's a 1-die blitz. It's just a push. Using a reroll there to save from the both down. Okay, we're just seeing a bunch of blocks here. We've got a knockout for a halfling on a skull, both down. Okay, Dwarves are bringing it up to try and get support on their ball carrier, who has been tagged by 2 halflings. So even if he's going to try and punch his way out right now, he is going to be taking a single dice without block against an opponent with dodge, which can be a bit of a tall order. Are we going to see the runner move in for support and have the runner here try and blitz out? At the moment, we're just seeing the Dwarves take their free blocks, trying to drive home the 2 dice benefit. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could see an extra dwarf come in here. If we can dodge away here, if our dwarf team can dodge away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you could get a reasonably opportunistic handoff. Again, we're just seeing some more blocks up here on halflings. Block 2 die, block 2 die. Gets the natural power from the Slayer, and he is knocked out due to being stunty on a casualty roll of a 7. Again, the Dwarves driving home that numerical advantage. Let's have a look at the outbox. We've got 3 knocked out halflings, 1 seriously injured one. And of course, Morg is gone for the game. But I'm very eager to see what we're going to do about the ball here for the Dwarves. The Slayer is active now. Running back. So I'm going to assume we're going to try and get this ball here. Possibly with a blitz through. Okay, we've got a blitz here down from Brantley. Fern. 1, 2, 3. It's a 2-die block on him. Skull both down. There you go. Taking advantage of that block And the Halfling is stunned. So the runner, if he wants to get out of dodge here, has either got to take a 2-die block here with no skills against dodge, which is fine. It's safe. You can't guarantee it. Or he's going to dodge away. It's a move action. It could be a dodge. I don't think they've used the reroll. Gets the dodge on a 3+. Absolutely breaking free here. Look at that. At the speed of a cliff top. 6 squares up the pitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's 2 squares safe of a 2-turn run down the sideline. And it is tree time. Pushback skull, fine. Pushes the dwarf back. 3-die block here on the dwarf and gets a pound push. Follows up. Mighty blow to 9. The dwarf armor is held this time. And the dwarf escapes a very nasty death. We've got a halfling failing a dodge roll. Going down. His armor explodes and he is stunned. And it's time for the dwarves again. So a very sensible and safe move there. The opening move is to move that dwarf down the side of the pitch into scoring zone, into scoring range for next turn. Okay, dwarf standing up here ready to take his beating and apply that very useful tackle zone, because the difference between a 3-die block and a 2-die block was the difference of this guy sitting down and this guy standing. So the dwarves don't have a lot of juicy targets here when it comes to blocks. They've got the tackle advantage, but they can't really use it because everybody's on the ground except this guy, and this guy doesn't have tackle or block yet because he is a rookie runner. Sure hand's paying off with this runner picking up the ball twice so far, but not having the combat skills here that they can leverage to take out the halfling all that easily. Going for the big block on the tree here. They need one more for a 1-die block. Unless this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is going to blitz in at that tree with some supports and get lucky on the Dauntless roll again. Is going to be a dodge away here with an edge 2 blocker. No. Just stay put. Okay. Line elf? Oh dear. Now I'm trolling him as well. Line dwarf around here. Just hooning in on this halfling here. I wonder if we're going to see a block now from the runner. It's Troll Slayer time. Right here, Caden. In with strength 3, 4, 5, 6. Not enough. It's this Slayer in for the blitz. On the tree with 2 dice at least. Pow pushback. The tree goes down. He's got to follow up because he's got Frenzy, which is going to leave him in the tree's tackle zone, in the other tree's tackle zone, Mr. Big. The armor is saved, and we've got a dwarf here for a foul, quite possibly. Nope, the runner takes the 2-die block, both down or power push, so the halfling stays standing. Surely we're going to see a foul here. It's a foul, and Mr. Tall is knocked out. The tree is removed. we've got cheering in the chat. There we go. Coronapocalypse Now start. Turn 4. And now we've got booing. The crowd just does not know how to feel about this. I am absolutely loving this FUMBBL event. I think it's absolutely cracking. It's brilliant. Alright, Tree's going to take a 2-die block. Power push, power push. That dwarf is going down into the ground. Mighty blow, only taking it to a 6. The dwarf is just prone. Alright, is it a foul? It is a foul, but it is not enough to break the armor. Alright, that halfling is getting out of dodge here. Our halfling player gets away with the dodge here again. Hiding, I imagine. Try to save those numbers. Save those numbers because this dwarf team is going to have to run out the clock, score on the last turn, and then it is going to be all down to a 1-turn touchdown from the halflings on turn 8 to see whether this will be a draw or a win for the halflings. That said, it's within the dwarves' power to score now and give themselves 3 turns to possibly swing a defensive touchdown. They've got 6 halflings out. 1, 2, 3, 4 halflings. So 3 knocked out halflings and a knocked out tree man. Okay, 3 die, frenzy block. Pow gets the natural pow on the halfling, and he is stunned. Only stunned, not the removal. It'll be interesting to see what our dwarf coach does here, whether it is straight into the touchdown. It's a touchdown. We are going to see a 4-turn drive from the halflings for the win, and a 3-turn drive from the dwarves to turn over that ball and steal it. So when I did the write-up of this game, I looked at the rosters. I looked at halflings, I looked at dwarves. I looked at the cool builds they're both going with and the fact there was going to be a ton of inducements. I didn't see Morg coming. I think that's a cool play. Been a tight game. 1-1. That halfling drive, the first half, with the big guys doing so much damage, has really kept them in it. Alright, let's see what we got. We've got Mr. Tool is back from being knocked out. So let's have a look and see who's still out. We've got 1, 2 dwarf linemen out, and obviously the death roller, and we've got 2 halflings knocked out and Morg. And Cash Teelan is down to armor 5, which as an ogre player, when you're running all the snotlings, in fact I'm running snotlings, as soon as this game is over, armor 6 is huge. In fact, when you're playing in a stunty league environment, armor 7 of goblins makes them feel invincible. It's cracking. Okay, dwarves are set. They're ready. So we can tell from the deployment here that they are happy to accept a shot at a throw teammate touchdown. But if the team get it wrong, they've got 2 slayers in safety here and 2 runners right in the middle. So that is a lot of movement there from dwarves. These guys getting 2 die blocked with frenzy makes them fantastic, fantastic safeties. That's why the Ulfwereners for the Norse team are such a good safety or linebacker, because making that good strength frenzy block can be huge, and then as soon as you level them up to have block as well, they can drive home the dice and the numbers advantage. Alright, I think we're set here. So cheering fans, the dwarf team gets the reroll back up to 3, has hardly used any this turn. DrClaes has got the Bonehead podcast on with about a 20-second delay. Yeah, I don't know why the delay is there, but you know, it's streaming around and flying around the world. Okay, so ball is midfield, so the halflings have got an opportunity here. He's going to clear out that dwarf. Pow gets the dwarf down, doesn't follow, does follow, but the dwarf's armor holds. Hey Chad, how you doing? It has been a brutal first half for the dwarves, but the dwarves have turned it round. It's 1-1 now, and the halflings are driving. They've got 4 turns. Okay, halflings are closing in here. I did wonder if we'd see a throw teammate attempt, but actually I think it's looking like a bit of a cage job. That said, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a go for it and a handoff if they wanted to go for the throw teammate here. It's a handoff to the catcher, and it could be time. Is it time for our first throw teammate of the evening? Okay, so the halfling just goes wide at the top here. Chad needs the snotlings. We're going to be playing snotlings in a bit. I'm going to be running the team in this tournament. We've got a comment from DrClaes saying, "Witness me, Valhalla." I feel like it's throw teammate time here, guys. So, the tree. We're going to see the throw here. It's a cheeky 2+ into the midfield. He crashes to the ground. His armor is broken, and the halfling is brutally taken out. That is so sad. That is so sad. But we have to say, the halfling coach has done a superb job of protecting that fail. Look at the amount of players they've got around the ball. That's 1, 2, 3 tackle zones on the ball, and one of them's a tree man, and he's going... it's DrClaes. Okay, DrClaes. Thank you very much. So yeah, look at the job we've got here of protecting that ball. The dwarf coach does now have an opportunity to take a steal, but it is going to be a tough drive. Going to have to go through 1, 2 trees. You can get onto the ball here by blitzing a halfling away, but I don't think that's going to be enough to get onto that ball. At least not next turn. The crowd are not loving what we're seeing here. That was a bit brutal. But anybody who's not tried to throw teammate, if you have not had the wonderful experience of killing your own dude, either by dropping him or throwing him, you're missing out on an incredible part of Blood Bowl. So the Dwarves are moving in on the Halflings. So in the last drive, we saw them envelop the Halflings. And I think that's what the Dwarf coach is pulling off here as well. However, all he has to do is get that guy out. So with the Dwarves having 2 of their linemen out and the linemen having tackle, the tackle is a hard counter to all the dodge that the Halflings do have. So having these Longbeards here basically creates this wall of you can dodge through, but it's going to cost you team rerolls rather than the kind of freebie 3+ fly through that you get from most stunties. The Dwarves hard counter Halflings in this way. So we've got a blocker here who might be able to swing in and get on the ball here. It's going to be a bad block. Right, runners going in top. I like how we've got the Troll Slayer back here in defense. I think that's a great play. Okay, we have got a tackle block. He's down, but the armor's fine. So yeah, we did see the blitz in from the Longbeard. We now have a Dwarf on the ball. What are we going to see this runner do? A crazy play would see him get in and jump onto the ball. A safe play, not a safe play, but probably a wise play would be to pop him there next to. Yes, it gives you the opportunity of a block with a tree, but then this tree's got 2 to choose. Okay, we've got Rob in the chat saying 2-0 to Dark Elves in the other game. Is that full time? Okay, it's time for Coronapocalypse. Turn 6. The Dwarf got a 2-die blitz against the Dwarf here. Powering him to the ground. Is he going to push him onto the ball to take the bounce? We see it takes the pounce off the ball. Now the ball, unfortunately for the Halflings, ends up still in a Dwarf tackle zone. Okay, we've got a tree hit here. Push back, pow, and he is badly hurt. That's another casualty for the trees. That's what, 3 guys they've taken out this game? Absolutely huge. Update, not full time. Not full time for the Dark Elves. Very exciting in this league so far. We've already had a 4-2 victory. I cannot wait. Oh, what a bounce. What a bounce. What an absolute multiple bounce situation. Those are some noises I've not heard on FUMBBL in one go. Unfortunately, I think this Halfling is going to die. That's the fate of all Halflings. So we've got a Troll Slayer here. 1, 2, 3, 4 blitz. That could be a huge play there. Maybe even standing up this guy, jumping him in there and blitzing him free over here to get away from the Halfling cage. It's Caden. It's the Troll Slayer. He's taking the blitz. 2 dice. Pushback and both down. Halfling goes down. Ball bounces into 3 Halfling tackle zones. That couldn't have gone worse for the Dwarf. Short of a pair of coconuts. Right. Both down. Both down. Another guy goes down and armor is saved. That is a very good bounce, DrClaes. So another block. Power push. Skull. Saved by armor. The Dwarves are piling on the murder here. And we could see a defensive touchdown from the Dwarves to steal the 2-1. They will only have a turn to do it in after this. So this runner needs to do some running. It could be that the Dwarf coach now is actually just able to pile on the pressure and really limit the Halfling players' opportunity to win themselves and go for that draw. And a draw is not a bad thing in a league or tournament environment. Lands you mid-pitch, mid-table, so you can avoid one of the elf teams that are playing another match and that team that drove home with a very, very beautiful 4-2 victory this weekend. Push back, scatter roll, ball is bounced out, and again, not a great bounce for the Dwarves. Oh, went for it, and I love that. Sure hands, not enough. Not enough on a 4 and a 2 to get that ball in 2 tackle zones. But we do have Dwarves in the backfield on the ball. And it is turn 7 for the Halflings. They've got 2 turns to pull this win out. And I think our opponent's gone into the tank here. Here we go. It's action time. It's the big block from the tree. It's only a push. In fact, that just applies more dwarf to where the ball is. And another big hit there. Pow. Goes down, but just about saved by the armor with a roll of a 9. So the trees have done some great work. This turn was a little bit lackluster. And I think the only option we've got here is a brave halfling block or just some stunty dodging. What are we supposed to use? Harsh language. That's a British speciality there. I can only assume our halfling player here is considering which does he take. Oh, it's a dodge out and it's a fail. His armor holds. It's turn 8 for the Dwarves. Panster is very good. May have lost 4-2, but expecting him in the top 5 by the end. I watched that game and Nippon got lucky and played brilliantly. Both teams played really well. If Panster's running the Sea Elf team, that's a really tricky road to hoe. Great agility, awful movement. Really interesting team. Flame units only. I'm waiting for someone to say leap. Okay. Is the play here to take out this guy with the Slayer? Opening up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't think this runner can do it anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he has got to take it from there. Our dwarf coach has got to get the ball to the runner without the runner activating to score this second touchdown and win the game. Putting a dwarf here on the ball. If we see a block here and a blitz here, there we go. There's a 2-die blitz. It's a push. Takes the push and a blitz. It's a pow push and another push. Dodge saving him. But if he clears him out, he can get the tackle zone off the ball. This runner is going to have some work to do. He's going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick up the ball, hand it off to this runner. That's a 3+ dodge away, 3+ pickup, and a 3+ handoff with 2 go for it's to score in the 8th turn. He's gone for the block. And he has knocked out the halfling. That could have been risky. That halfling could have ended up standing next to the ball and put that all-important tackle zone. It's a 1 move, and he goes down. He fails the dodge. He's out. Now we've got halflings. It's their turn 8. It's their opportunity to get the score, and they have got a very, very uphill battle here. So the tree just has a crack at the dwarf, pushes him back. Nothing too serious. Okay, and another big block. Push back. The dwarf escapes. Let's bounce into the chat here. I've got a message from our opponent. Oh, I've missed that. That's cool. No score, DrClaes. Heck of a drive. Absolute heck of a drive. Let's go here. That's it. It's the end of the game. It's 1-1. And it was a really, really, really tight match. I'm impressed with play on both sides. That absolute destruction of the dwarf line in the first half was something I was not expecting. Brilliant play on the halfling side to run that timeout. And we saw some excellent dwarf play. Really driving in those defensive moves. Superbly done. Really great. Really great game for both coaches there. Let's take some cheers for that. We're going to wrap up this recording. We're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back with my game in the tournament, which will be my Snotling team against Skinks.